So today we are going to see about machine learning with intelligence, how the machine learning will be predict their results. Okay, so using some machine learning data sets, we are going to build a machine learning model, and then using that model we are going to predict the results. Okay, so before we enter into the session, first of all, good evening to one and all. Welcome to Pantech e-learning. I am Kamlesh. I am a data scientist. So today we are going to see about machine learning with intelligence. Before we enter into the session, I like to tell about Pantech solution. So our main profile. So it's origin from 2004, 7 branches, 100 plus employees, and 1200 plus workshops we conducted for each students plus faculties also. And then our main portfolio is like research and development for industries project, and then faculty development programs, and then hands-on training workshop. So still we are giving some faculty development program, and then workshops, and then internships. Okay, so with online social medium like Zoom or Gmeet, Google Meet, or Skype. Okay, so if you want to learn something about like machine learning or deep learning or Internet of Things or power electronic systems or VLSI, okay, so you can contact us. So at last I will tell you the numbers of whom you contact. Okay, so please contact that numbers, they will help you. And we are like main thing, we are concentrated on internships and in-planner training, on short-term courses, value-added courses, academic project training, and customized design service and states of the art like R&D. Okay, so these are some of the things we are done with our main portfolio. And not only with this, we are concentrating on like easy or EEE domains and CSE and IT domains for final year project. Like not a particularly easy or EEE domains, like particular departments. Okay, easy related departments or EEE related departments or CSE or IT related departments. Okay, so if you take easy or EEE department, we have Internet of Things like IoT, artificial intelligence, embedded system, robotics, VLSI, FPGA, TMS process, and we have image processing using OpenCV and image processing using MATLAB, network simulation, and then power electronics and electric vehicles. And then in other hand, we have only software oriented techniques, because easy and EEE means some projects may related to only software oriented, and some projects may related to only hardware plus softwares. Okay, but here we have CSE and IT domains. It's mostly fully only based upon softwares like big data, data analytics, and Internet of Things, Python and Android Kotlin, Android development, and text mining, image mining, data mining, cloud computing, mobile computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, NLP. Like this area we are covering the projects for CSE and IT domains. Okay, so if you need any mini project or major project, please contact us, we will help you on it. So this is the table of contents for today's webinar. Like first of all, we will get into the introduction, what is machine learning and why we are using, and then we have a data set. The data set is all about like employee related data set only, whether the employee will be work on this company or fire out in this company. So we need to predict like that. So we have a data set regarding employee details. We will see about that data set, and after that we will enter into the process, how we are working step by step process for machine learning. And note one thing, this is in process tech session I am going to tell about how the classification machine learning type is working, but I will not tell about regression or unsupervised learning, clustering, or any associations and all. I am going to tell about supervised learning and classification type only at the process, and then will be move on to the real-time implementation. Okay, so these are the table of contents we are going to see in today's webinar. First, we will enter into the introduction. So introduction is all about what is machine learning. So machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence, and I hope everybody will know about if your background of AI, that is if your background of CSE or IT department, or if you are learn anything related to machine learning or deep learning, definitely you know about this. Machine learning is application of artificial intelligence that provides the system to ability automatically learn and improve from experience. Okay, so automatically learn, improve from the experience. So we have some data, we need to train that past data to the computer machines or algorithms, then we will predict an output result. Those output result given by the trained algorithm, okay, whether it's a true or false, or whether it's a what is the price of the house, what is the stock market prediction, like that we will predict some output based upon the past trained data. So that is the machine learning mainly focus on developing the computer programs and assessing and then learn from themselves. Okay, so this is the general introduction, and we have different types of learning. Okay, one is supervised learning, another one is unsupervised learning, and next one is reinforcement learning. Okay, so generally the simple thing, I don't need to tell the explanation about what is supervised learning and what is unsupervised learning and what is reinforcement learning. Simply I will tell the some idea about what is supervised, what is unsupervised, then it will be easy to understood. Why? Because I past 3 years I worked on this only. Simply I will tell what is supervised and what is unsupervised. Okay, so supervised is nothing but if you have a data set, okay, if you have a data set, any data set, for example whether it's an image or whether it's an Excel sheet or whether it's a CSV file or whether it's an audio, any data set, those data sets have an output. For example, if you take a data set of like apple and orange, okay, so apple and orange means we have some information about how the apple size, what is the apple shape, and what is the apple weight, and I have some information about details of each and every apples and orange. Then I have finally result of final column, I have a result of like output result. Like for example, if we have like this type of data, it should be an apple. Okay, so if we have like this type of some data, it should be an orange. So if you have a data set with independent and dependent value, that is called as a supervised learning. Okay, so generally you are training the algorithm, machine learning algorithm, by giving both the input data and output data of that input data. Okay, so that is called supervised learning. But if you move on to the unsupervised learning, you will be give only those input data to the unsupervised learning without any output data. Okay, so not giving, generally if you take any data set without any output column, that one is called as a unsupervised learning. Okay, so this is the basic difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is nothing but we have an output, unsupervised learning is nothing but we don't have an output. Reinforcement learning is totally different. Okay, so this is learned from the based upon the ecosystem. Okay, so when we are when the algorithm give some ecosystem means it will be learned from the ecosystem. For example, like playing a chess game or playing a Mario game. Okay, so when you are playing a Mario game, you will play like some obstacles will be there in front of obstacles, you need to jump or you need to dive, then you need to achieve the final stage, right? So like same thing only, if you are doing those things again and again, it will be learned from the rewards. Okay, for example, if you are jumping from the obstacles, it's a one positive rewards, so it will be move on to the positive rewards. And then if you are touch the obstacles, it's a negative rewards, so it will be take it as it's a negative rewards. Okay, so both based upon the positive rewards and negative rewards, we will achieve the target one, that is called reinforcement learning. Okay, so this is the general types of machine learning, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. If you take a supervised learning, we have a two type. One is classification and another one is regression. So classification is nothing but we have a output prediction data value within the range. For example, from the range to 0 to 1, otherwise 0 to 5, okay, otherwise 0 to 6. Okay, so like this we have some output, we need to predict the output result within the range. Okay, so that is called classification. For example, we need to predict in our today's data set, we have a data set of employee related data. Okay, so employee related data, what the main aim is whether the employee will be work on this company, or that is continue this company, or fired out of this company. So like that we need to predict an output, whether it's a 0 or 1, whether it's a true or false. Like that we need to predict something, so that is called classification type. That is, we need to predict within range. Okay, so when you need to predict an output within range, that is called classification. When you need to predict an output not within a range, some infinity to some infinity. Okay, so it may be like 10 to 10, starting value it may be 10, or the ending value it may be 1000 or anything. Okay, so we can't exactly predict a result, whether it's a float type or whether it's a integer type. Okay, so that is called regression type. Okay, so for example, exactly we need to tell about one example about regression means, like for example you take a stock market prediction. Okay, so today we have a stock market values of some other organization, like ABC organization, we have like some values. Tomorrow it may be increased to, or it may be reduced. We can't tell exactly what is the stock market value for tomorrow. Okay, just we can predict the result. It may be up to within from this range to or this range. We can't exactly tell it is the range, so that is called regression type. So we have totally two types in supervised learning: classification and regression. Then if you take a unsupervised learning, so unsupervised learning is nothing but you will not give an output data, right? So we already discussed about this. Without output data, you need to predict an cluster. Okay, so you need to predict a cluster. So if you are giving an without output like square, triangle and circle, you need to predict an clusters, how many clusters available in your data. So based upon the cluster, I will be start to create a new output file. That is 0 means circle, 1 means square, 2 means triangle. Okay, so if you don't have any data set output result, you need to predict an output result by based upon using unsupervised learning type. So in unsupervised learning type we have totally two type. One is clustering and association. Clustering is nothing but I told you like this, we need to predict do like the 1 or 2 like that. So that is called clustering. So if you want to predict an output result, you need to use this clustering type of technique. So we have algorithm like k-means algorithm, some other different type of cluster algorithms are available. Using that cluster algorithm, we need to predict an output result, whether it's a 0, whether it's a 1, like that. Okay, that is called unsupervised learning. And we have an association type. So association type is totally is based upon like recommendation. Okay, so recommendation like food recommendation or movie recommendation or e-cart recommendation system. So like that you need to, it will be predicted result what is the recommendation objects. Okay, so in recommendation also we have some other types are there, like content based recommendation, like that we have some types. So we will not go just you know those things. Okay, what is unsupervised learning and what is the types. So here we already discussed about reinforcement learning and dataset description. Okay, so our dataset consists of these many attributes like age, business travel, daily rate, department. That is, if you are take one employee in MNC company, those details of that employee. For this is the original dataset. This dataset is available in Kaggle website, and the dataset name is employee attrition. This is the dataset of IBM company. Okay, so they officially released. So we downloaded the dataset from there only. Here we have business type, travel type, department, distance, education, unemployed details, gender. Like that, we have some other information of each and every employees. And here we have a yellow color column. Okay, so the yellow color column is the main important column. The column is called as a output column. Okay, that is attrition, whether the person will be work on this company or fire out of this company. Yes means yes, he will work. Otherwise no means he will change the job. No. Okay, so this is the dataset which I used for today's session. Okay, if you wanted this dataset, you just go to the Kaggle website and search it for employee attrition. You will be get a result. Then you select the dataset and download it. You need to create an account for downloading. Okay, so this is the dataset which I used for today's webinar, and hopefully everybody will understood what is the type of this supervised learning. Okay, can you guess anybody what is this type of the supervised learning in comment box, whether it's a classification or whether it's a regression? Anybody guess what is the type of this classification? Anyone with this comment box? Okay, so just comment it what is the type of the classification. Then let me enter into the class. Let me enter into the process of machine learning. Okay, so what is the process of machine learning? We have like this. Okay, first one is data collection. So data collection is nothing but collection of data from the online source medium, and after we are collecting the data set, we will enter into the data preparation. The data preparation is all about like we need to train the data set. So like we need to train like if you have taken some data set, the data set in the form of like raw data set, you need to do some activities and do some process to train the data set. And after we training the data set, just we need to move on model fitting. So model fitting is used to model fitting is used to like if you have a past data, we need to train that past data to the model to predict the output result. So we will use that model fitting and predict the output result. After we are predicting the result, we are going to evaluate the model. Model evaluation is nothing but like after training the model will be ready to predict the output result. So for that purpose, we are going to predict the output result. And hypertuning is nothing but if your model is not trained well, or if your model is not predicted the output exactly, you need to use some other tuning method to process those hypertuning. Okay, so this is called process, and here are the basic steps, and then real-time implementation of the data set. So now I am opening the Jupyter notebook. Here I already have a code of employee prediction, and I already have a data set if I open this data set, I am having an output of like this. This is the data set of mine, like age, address, and business travel, and department, and distance from home, and education. Like this, we are having some data information. Using this data set only, we are going to do some process. So before that, we need to do some import some packages. The packages is nothing but like pandas used to used to read the data set. If you have a data set, CSV file or HTML file or JSON file, you can use this pandas and read the data set, and you can manipulate the data and analyze the data. And we have a NumPy package, numerical Python. It's a core library. If you want to compute like matrix multiplication or n-dimensional array value or any other thing like mathematical calculation, you can use NumPy package. And we have a matplotlib pyplot as PLT. This is the package used to represent the graphs of your data, and to plotting the graphs of your data like a bar graph or line graph or scatter graph, okay, or heat map. Like that, we have some other data, so you can use that and to plot the data. And the next thing is Cban. Cban is used to plot the graphs, also combination of graphs. And here we are using a warning. So warning is used to just if you have any problem with like deprecation errors, so you can remove that warnings. So deprecating is nothing but we have the Python is a version to version, it's changing some packages, so that's why we will get some deprecating errors. So we will remove, we don't need to see that those errors, so that's why we are using a warnings. Okay, the next thing, I am using the data set name and reading the data set by using PD. Here PD is nothing but pandas. Okay, so using pandas, I am reading the CSV file. The CSV file name is called as a empdataset.csv. After I am reading the dataset, I just save it in my variable name. The variable name is called as a df. Okay, so df is nothing but my all the data which I showed in my Excel sheet. This all the data totally we have 738 details, employee details. So all those data will saved in our df variable name. So if you wanna check, you can check using the head function. Head is the function to display the first 5 in your data set. Here I am just printing the first 5, but all the data which available in our data set is totally so all the data set is available in like all the count values will be available in those things. Okay, so that is the use of head function. And we have shape. Shape is nothing but to finding the how many number of rows and columns in your data set. Okay, so we have totally 1470 rows and 35 columns. That is the use of shape. Then we have columns. So column is nothing but what are the columns available in our data set, like age, attrition, business travel, daily rates, like that. We have some columns, and after that here I am checking the information of the data set. So information of the data set is nothing but before we are going to train the model, we need to check whether our model will be try to learn. For example, here you can see we have an integer type of model data type, so definitely my algorithm will be understand the integer type. And here I have an object type. So if you have an object type of data type, means it won't understand by your algorithm. Your algorithm not understand the object type, so we need to convert those object type into an integer type. Okay, if you have a categorical value, you can convert easily into 0 or 1. Like for example, categorical value of attrition. What is the attrition categorical value? If you open the data set, here we have a attrition. So here it's in a categorical value, yes or no, it's like a categorical value. So we can easily convert yes equal to 1 or no is equal to 0, like that. But if you have a text type of data value, okay, so if you have a text type, if you have a categorical value, we can easily using label encoder function or using npwhere in numpy function, we will convert our categorical column into a numerical column. But if you have text type of data in your data set, you need to use some other methods like NLP, natural language processing, and you need to convert the text into an bag of words, that is BOW. Generally they were called as a BOW, bag of words. We need to convert those data into an zeros and ones. Okay, so for that purpose we have a, generally in machine learning they will call as a vectorizing. Okay, so we have a different type of vectorizing like TF-IDI vectorizer, hash vectorizer, count vectorizer. You need to use those vectorizers, you need to convert the data into some other type, data type, that is integer or float type. Okay, so that's why we are using the information and we are checking the output result. The next thing, we are checking the sum, that is null.sum. Sum is the used to whether we have a null values in our data set or not. Okay, so null values checking is important. If you have any at least minimum one null values in your data set also, model will not learn. So that's why we need to remove the null values, otherwise we will place the null values as a 0 wherever you have a null values. For example, if you use this function, use it to check the null values, whether the null values will be available or not. If you don't have null values, it's not a problem. Here you can see I am getting all as a 0, there is no null values in our data set. But suppose if you have null values, you have two type of method to remove the null values by using drop NA function. If you are using drop NA function, automatically it will be drop wherever you have a null values, it will be drop whole column. Okay, but if you need all the column, you need to don't need to remove the null values. Okay, you need to fill the some other values like 0, means you can use drop fill NA, otherwise sorry, not drop, fill NA function. And if you are giving 0 within that function parameter, means automatically if you have any null values in your data set, it will be filled as a 0. Okay, so that is the use of def.isNull.sum value. And here I am going to see the describe. So describe is nothing but statistics view. Okay, that is how many mean value of the each data set, what is the mean value of each data set, and what is the standard deviation value of each data set. Okay, and what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value, like that we need to check the statistic function. So why I am checking means, for example, Suppose if you are taking a logistic regression algorithm, okay, if you are taking a logistic regression type of algorithm, we need to do some process with the logistic regression type of algorithm, okay, like we need to do some, like for logistic regression algorithm we need like what is the formula for logistic regression algorithm. Like logistic regression or linear regression algorithm means like f of x equal to summation of I is equal to 2 and n, then m x plus b, okay, that is mx plus c. Did you know about y is equal to mx plus slope of the line? Okay, so like that time we need to use some other mean value, some other standard deviation value, not only for linear regression. If you take any other like logistic regression algorithm means you need to calculate the log of PAC and 1 minus PA comma C for odd ratio. If is the probability y is equal to 1 means logistic regression formula is 1 comma 1 plus e power minus infinity, and then we need to calculate all the y is equal to mx plus c output data. Okay, so at the time we need to know what is the mean value and what is the standard deviation value and what is the maximum value on that. So for that purpose we are going to use this describe function and see the statistics view of the input. Okay, here I am using a count plot. Count plot is nothing but it's from SNS C1. We can plot the graph for particular attribute. Okay, so if you want to plot for particular attribute, you can use this count plot. Here I am plotting the graph for attrition in the data DF. So here I am plotting the graph. Then after this I am going to convert my categorical column. Okay, so if you see the data set, we have a categorical column like attrition, business travel, and department, and education field, and we have a gender. So like this we have some categorical column in our data set. I am going to convert the categorical column into a numerical column. Okay, so before going to convert, I am going to drop some unwanted columns. So drop is the function to delete the column of those employee number, employee count, and over 18 and standard hours. Okay, so these are all for me unwanted column in my data set. So I just using a drop function dropped a columns. Then after that I am going to convert my categorical column. So I am taking the all my categorical column name within one list. The list name is called as a categorical column, and then I am just copying the categorical, sorry, I am taking one list. After I am taking from one list, I am just copying the DF. Okay, that is DF is my whole data set is available in DF. I am just copying the DF into one variable that is called data encode. Okay, so data encode I am taking in copying the all my data in data encode variable. Then I am importing my pre-processing. In pre-processing I am using a label encoder function. Label encoder function will be automatically convert the categorical column into and zeros and ones. So I am using a label encoder function, and after that I am going to use lab enc, that is I am saving a label encoder function in one variable. After this I am going to pass all my column, that is all my DF column into and this label encoder function. Then automatically all the encoder data will be passed into the here. Okay, so after this I am see here I am having an output of zeros and ones only. All the my categorical column will be converted into an numerical column. So that's why I am going to then next one. So you can see here I am using the information function, and then I am checking the output result of each data types. So all the data types in the form of integer only. So that is the uses of label encoder function. And after this I am going to convert, that is save my independent value and dependent value in two variables. X is nothing but it's a independent value, and y is nothing but it's a dependent value. Okay, first of all you have to know what is independent and what is dependent. Independent is nothing but if you have a details of the each and every employees, that is called independence, like age, like salary, experience, which department. Okay, that is not independent values. Here dependent means nothing but according to that person details, the person will be work or not. That is dependent value. Why? Because our main aim of the project is we need to find whether the person will be working in this company or not. So that is called y. Okay, y is nothing but it's a dependent value, whether the person will be work or not. So all my data will be saved in x, all my output will be saved in y. So attrition is nothing but my output column, target column. So without not equal to target column, all data will be saved in x, and equal to target column will be saved in y. Now I am going to divide my data set into two types. One is train and test. Okay, x train we have some data. For the data in y train I am having an output result. In x test I am having a data. In y test I am having some output result. Okay, so this is the thing I am going to, up to this I am done. Okay, so if I use train, I will show you what are the things I am going to tell. So first I am taken the data set. After I am taking the data set, I just do some data analysis part. After doing some data, okay, so here I divided my data set into two types, train and test. Then after this I am going to train the algorithm. So which algorithm you using for my machine learning model? I am training the algorithm. After training the algorithm, I am going to give only a test data. For this test data, my machine algorithm will be predict the result, whether it's a 0 or 1, whether the person working in this company will be work or fire out in this company. Like that it will be give the result. Okay, so here I am going to use train and test splitting. So totally in train data I am having a 1176, and in test data I am having 294 details. Okay, so this is the thing we have in train data and test data. Next I am importing the random forest algorithm. The random forest algorithm is used to predict an output result of classification type. So here I am using a classification type only. In ensemble technique I am importing the random forest. Then after this I am giving the train data, x train and y train, and after I am training this is the fit is the keyword to train the algorithm. Okay, fit is the keyword to train the algorithm. After training the algorithm I am going to give the test data. The test data is nothing but which I am having in a test x test. So after I am giving this result test data, I am going to predict an output result. The output result is 0.84. 0.84 is nothing but the model which learned and predicted the result for my input test data. It's 84% is correct, and then balance 60% is error rate. Okay, so that is what here we are doing in with the machine learning model. Okay, Then here I am using a confusion matrix also. Confusion matrix is nothing but we have a true positive value and true negative value, false positive value and false negative value. True positive is nothing but how many persons will be work in this company, that is 242, and how many persons will be not work in this company, that is 6. Okay, so this and all, here I am getting 84 as accuracy result. For that 84, this is my original result. Okay, so that is predicted correctly by a machine learning algorithm. But balance 84, we have a 16 error rate, right? 16% error rate. That is the error rate of this 3 and 43. Okay, so 3 and 43 is the error rate. So here you can see no 242 and no plus no, we have a 3, and yes plus yes, we have a 6, and here we have a this one. Okay, so this is the called as a confusion matrix, which available in the function of metrics confusion matrix. Okay, so like this you can apply for even SVM algorithm also. After applying for SVM algorithm, you can save the SVM algorithm model in one variable. Then after this, here I am going to predict a result for random forest algorithm. Okay, I am going to take in train data 9th column. Okay, in train data I am going to take a 9th column. In this 9th column I am having some input data. Those input data I am just copying and paste it here. Then I will take it in one input variable name. Then I am passing that input variable name. So here I am having an output result as a 0. Okay, so based upon your input also you can predict the result, whether we can predict whether the person will be retention or not. So here I am getting again I am creating on if loop. If y underscore prediction equal to 0, it's a retention, and then it's an attrition. Okay, so this is the way you can predict the result by training the machine learning algorithm and testing the output result. Okay, but this and all easy way, you can do it easily, and you can train the model and you can predict the model. But here I am going to tell you how we can deploy your machine learning model by using pickle package. Okay, pickle is the package for serializing your model. Okay, so by creating a pickle file, that is webinar.pickle, I am creating a webinar.pickle file, and I am writing the pickle file of trained random forest algorithm. Okay, so I am creating a webinar.pickle file. This pickle file is empty only. Within that pickle file I am going to dump the trained model. The trained model is called random forest. Okay, so whenever you need to work on this employee data set, you don't need to write this many codes. Okay, whenever you need to execute this many employee data set, you don't need to execute this code. After you dumping the model, you just read the model and save the model in one variable. Then if you pass any input data of those those columns, then automatically it will be give the prediction output result. Okay, automatically it will give the prediction output result whether the person will be work or not. Okay, so this is the way you can dump your machine learning model as a one package, one raw data. Here you can see I am having a pickle file, webinar.pickle file. So this is the way you can build the model by using this pickle package. Okay, so if you wanna dump the model of deep learning algorithm, you have to use some other. So pickle file is only for like small amount of data, dumping for small amount of data. If you wanna dump like deep learning type of algorithm, why? Because normally if it is a deep learning means you will be like your data set will be a huge amount, right? So for that purpose and all, we need to use some other different type of file, okay, like hard cascade file, okay, and we have some other different file types also available for dumping the deep learning type of algorithm, okay. So up to this, anybody have doubt, you may ask it using chat box. I will be reply for your doubts, and today's session's link will be uploaded in our chat box. You can register for it. You will be get a certificate for this today's webinar, and don't forget to register your attendance link. And if you like this video, please do like and share to the friends. Hope your friends also will understood about this machine learning, how machine learning work, and how how we can dump the machine learning models using pickle file. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and hit a bell icon. You will be get a notification each and every time. Anybody have any doubt regarding this today's webinar and today's machine learning with intelligence webinar? You can ask, not only related to machine learning. If you wanna ask a doubt related to deep learning or machine learning or some other technologies also, you can ask. I will explain you. If you like this video, please hit a like button. And we are connecting some technical training programs. It started from last month August itself. Still its batch channel going, like 5 days IETE technical training programs. If you wanna join, you can join. Its cost is just 300 only for non-ISF numbers, and 300 for ISF members and 350 for non-ISF members. And we are connecting even 15 days internship program also. Each week we have assignment also, okay. So this is Rs 1600 per student for IET members and 1750 per student. And if you wanna join, you can contact the number which I showed you after this slide, okay. Here you can see. So these are the numbers which, if you need any detail about like internship or webinars, you may contact those 3 numbers. They will help you. And if you have any doubt, you can ask now. Otherwise, I will end up this session. I think nobody have doubt. So thank you for this attending wonderful webinar on machine learning intelligence. Thank you for. If you have any doubt, you may ask. You may give a request on hod.java@pantechmail.com. And if you need further more details or upcoming events, you may contact us on WhatsApp and Telegram channels, okay. So Telegram channel name is pantechelearning. You may contact us and join us. And we have a WhatsApp. You can contact us on WhatsApp also. So thank you all. Have a nice day.